Ivan Chulkov visits Ivolginsky Datsan almost every month. Tragedy struck his family 2 years ago when his daughter was seriously injured after her husband shot her in a fit of jealousy.
The bullet had entered her temple and exited from the back of her head. Doctors told me the injury was fatal and that she might die within minutes. There was nothing my wife and I could do about it. I sent my wife to hospital, expecting her to bring the body back here.
Ivan had never been a follower of Buddhism, but he visited Ivolginsky Datsan on the advice of a woman he knew. There he was advised to pray in front of the undecaying body of Dashi Dorjo Itigilov, a Buryat Buddhist Lama. Several Buddhist lamas gathered on a mountainous plateau near Ulan-Ude in September 2002. They were looking for the resting place of Itigilov because 75 years ago he himself requested that he should be exhumed on that date.
The cedar sarcophagus was at a depth of 1.2 meters. The body of Dashi Dorjo Itigilov was in a lotus position. It was examined on September 11. 3 medical physiologists, myself, and top Buddhist leaders attended the ceremony. The Lama's body showed no signs of decomposition. There was a sense that he had just fallen asleep. Besides, his body was warm. Its temperature was 36.6 degrees.
Local scientists couldn't work out why the Lama had not decomposed, so the body was sent to Moscow for further analysis. The findings of that investigation were unexpected.
Moscow scientists found no sign of surgery on the man's body after analyzing samples of hair and nails. They confirmed that both belonged to a living man.
Itigilov's body was brought to Ivolginsky Datsan in a transparent sarcophagus. This unique footage was filmed a year later. After that, journalists were not allowed to take pictures of the undecaying body. Ivan Chulkov only spent about half an hour face-to-face with the so-called imperishable Lama, but those 30 minutes changed his life forever.
I was there when the Lama was brought into the temple. I was told to ask him questions and just communicate with him. He responded with a nod and facial expressions. The nagging thought I had at the time was this: I just want my daughter to be alive, whatever happens. He nodded at me, and instantly I knew she wouldn't die. I really thought I was going mad. My daughter suddenly came out of a coma when I was here. That was at 1 p.m. The doctor said it had been a very close shave, that she must have been born under a lucky star.
News of the miraculous recovery of Ivan's daughter spread quickly across Buryatia and far beyond. Pilgrims flocked to Ivolginsky Datsan. The number of visitors coming to the temple housing the imperishable body has since been limited. Now access to Dashi Dorjo Itigilov is restricted to 8 times a year. Visitors are allowed to enter the temple during major Buddhist holidays. All the participants have gathered for the Surbachan festival. For the first time, Boris is going to pray together with revered shamans. On the behalf of all Buryats, 20 men will plead to local spirits and their own ancestors to grant them good luck and wealth.
Like all shamans, Boris has gone through the hardships of a shaman's life. He suffered from disease. He found no place for himself either in society or in his inner self. When he found out that powerful shamans had been in his clan, he turned to a teacher, and that's when his spiritual and human elements merged into harmony.
Every shaman must wear a special ritual robe. Each element of it is charged with particular symbolism.
You take this cap, for example. It's underneath the shaman's crown. This thing overshadows his eyes. Why is that? It's because the spirits descending from above are not supposed to see human eyes. They can scare them away.
At the beginning of the ritual, the shamans summon local spirits to offer them gifts, sweets, and vodka. The ritual has remained unchanged over scores of generations. Similar sounds reverberated over the Five Fingers Plateau 1,000 years ago.
As you can see, the five-fingered sculpture is somewhat higher than where we are. People have believed since the olden days that when you pray by this stone, the sculpture pleads with the supreme gods and the Father of the eternal blue sky on your behalf. Asking them to grant you well-being and good luck in all your undertakings.
The next stop for the cyclists is at a stone garden. Large rocks going back to the Ice Age are scattered over a vast area. Locals regard the place as something more than just a landmark. They believe spirits live here. Every traveller is supposed to make a symbolic sacrifice, a few drops of milk or small change. The cyclists travelling around Buryatia's holy places finally arrive at the highlight of their itinerary, the temple of the Buddhist goddess Yanjima.
Hello and welcome. Let us go to the temple. First of all, you need to walk around the temple, enter it to pray, and only then will we go to the stone.
This is Buryatia's second most popular place for pilgrimage after the Ivolginsky Datsan. Yanjima is regarded as the patron saint of motherhood and children. She is one of the most revered goddesses in Buryatia. Many women come here in the hope of increasing their fertility.
One case in point is a woman from a neighboring village. She was an atheist. If they had asked her 3 years ago if she had faith in any religion, including Buddhism, she would have said no. The problem was that she was already 40 and had no success in getting pregnant. But after she visited Yanjima in this holy place, she gave birth to a daughter. Now the girl is 1 year old.
Anyone wishing to ask Yanjima for help must take a narrow path uphill. Legend has it that the Republic's current chief Buddhist was meditating when the goddess Yanjima appeared before him. She told him to look for her image in this valley. Several months later, monks discovered a stone bearing the image of a dancing girl. Now it is time for the travelers to appeal to the Buddhist goddess.
Above all else, you should make your personal pleas most sincerely, from the bottom of your heart. How you do it, either on your knees, lying on the ground, or standing, makes no difference, as long as you have faith in her.
In the Okinsky district, Badmar Dondakov is about to complete his journey, but one last obstacle is in his way. The remains of an ancient lava plain from 2 extinct volcanoes stretch for 70 kilometers of scorched earth and rock.
The Valley of Volcanoes is some 50 kilometers from here. They last erupted 10 or 12,000 years ago.
At last, the long trip comes to an end. Badmar meets his younger brother Bulat. They will spend several weeks together tending the herd. The Soyots hope that this valley tucked away in the mountains will allow them to maintain the way of life handed down from their ancestors.
I have lived here since I was a child. What's the point of moving elsewhere? I came back from my stint in the army and have been tending yaks since, just like my father and grandfather did. My family sells meat and milk for a living. We earn quite enough. Sometimes I go hunting. I don't think I need anything more.
When the sun reaches its zenith, 20 shamans begin praying together by the five-fingered stone sculpture. To start with, they ask local spirits to accept their prayers and gifts. The ceremony is accompanied by the constant drumming of tambourines. The tambourine is the shaman's principal instrument that allows him to move between the human world and the spirit world. The critical moment arrives when the shamans take turn in going into a state of trance. Buryats believe that at such moments, shamans are no longer themselves. Their bodies have been taken over by the spirits of their ancestors.
At first you feel dizzy, then your vision is blurred and you become lost in thought. When you open your eyes you see the people around you, but you barely remember what's gone on before. I can't explain it. When you go into a state of trance, you ask your ancestors to use you as a medium to talk to others.
The ritual culminates in a symbolic sacrifice to the sky. Young trees are tossed into a bonfire to make smoke. When the fire goes out, an eagle appears over the Five Fingers Plateau. The sacrifice has been accepted and their prayers heeded. The next year will be a good one for the land where time has come to a standstill.